Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl in your face while you're sleeping. 15 biggest animals you won't believe actually exist. If you think elephants, blue whales, and rhinos are the only animals on this earth that come in jumbo sizes, then you're gravely mistaken. There are some pretty big animals out here. So big that they'll leave you asking yourself this question: so why in the heck did I not know about them in the first place? Luckily, we're here to blow your mind. So get ready, because in today's video, I'll be letting you in on 15 of the world's largest animals that you never knew existed. Or if you did, then you've probably been spending a lot of time in the library. Number 15. Giant armadillo. You'd think you'd notice something the size of a large pig covered in scales with 8-inch front claws like scimitar blades walking past you. But the giant armadillo does such a good job of hiding, scientists have had to install secret cameras just to discover more about this reclusive creature. In fact, it's safe to say that only a few hundred people have seen a giant armadillo in the wild. Weighing up to 110 pounds, the giant armadillo can reach 5 feet in length, and it is the largest species of armadillo in the world. At nearly twice the size of other species, its girth makes it unable to roll into the family's distinctive ball shape for defense. Instead, it digs underground burrows with its impressive front claws. It only ventures outside under the cover of darkness. So, if you think you saw Freddy Krueger with the giant claws, it was probably an armadillo in the dark. The giant armadillo is considered a vulnerable species due to habitat loss and hunting, but local people are said to regard sightings of them as bad omens. The rare camera trap photographs may help to improve its reputation though. Number 14. Giant the coast of Japan. With a bit of bait and a lot of luck, an animal appeared in front of their cameras. Number 13. Giant otter. While South America might be known as the land of giant snakes and intimidating jaguars, it still has some mammoth animals that are also impressive. The continent is home to the biggest members of the armadillo and anteater families, as well as the capybara, the world's largest rodent. In the rivers off the Andes lives the giant otter. Twice the size of the next biggest member of its family, the giant otter can reach 6.5 feet in length. It lives in open habitats in large family groups, and is pretty easy to spot. While giant otters can deal with natural predators such as caiman jaguars, they have fallen victim to man. They are described as sociable and curious, and this inquisitive character has made them a target for hunters. The thick pelt was once highly sought after, with devastating consequences. The trade was banned in 1975, but now the remaining animals are threatened by increasing human sentiment in their Amazonian habitat. Number 12. Giant huntsman spider. If you measure your spider size by leg span, the largest reaches 1 foot across and goes by the worrying name giant huntsman spider. Fortunately, it focuses its predatory activities on insects. But then again, if it ever decided to move up a weight class, well, let's just leave it at that. You're unlikely to see one scurrying across your carpet unless you've set up a home in a cave in Laos, and even then, that would just be a sight for sore eyes. That being said, the spider made headlines among arachnophobes and fans alike when it was discovered in 2001 by Dr. Pete Jaeger of Johannes Gutenberg University in Mainz, Germany. Jaeger says the resulting attention has been bad news for the spider due to unregulated demand by the pet trade. He believes that for every 100 spiders imported as pets, 1,000 more may have perished when removed from their homes. Number 11. Giant oarfish. Looking very much like an enormous sea serpent, the giant oarfish is extremely flat and moves through the water like a wide silver ribbon. Its long pelvic fins look like oars, and it has a distinctive red crest. But the most remarkable thing about the oarfish is its extreme length. Measured up to 56 feet, it is the world's longest bony fish. Despite its massive size, the giant oarfish remains quite mysterious. It lives in the deep ocean alongside other giant species. Because of how deep below the ocean surface the giant oarfish lives, it's quite a rare sight. In recent years, autonomous semi-submarines have managed to film it in its natural environment, but very few people have seen a healthy one in the flesh. In fact, giant oarfish only appear at the surface when dead or injured. Number 10. Goliath frog. The world's largest frog weighs as much as a newborn baby, tipping the scale at 7 pounds. The Goliath frog might be huge, but like many of its amphibian cousins, it does its best to conceal itself. Mottled green camouflage helps it hide among the moss-covered rocks. It lives in or near fast-flowing rivers in the coastal rainforests of West Africa. You might think it would have an impressive croak to match its bulk, but you'd be wrong. Unlike most other frogs, the Goliath frog does not possess a vocal sac, so it whistles to attract mates instead. It's always the big ones that are so quiet. Number 9. Chan's megastick. While most insects can fit in the palm of your hand, there are a few giants out there that can make your hand look pint-sized. The longest in the world is a stick insect that lives in Borneo. It was named after its discoverer as Chan's megastick in 2008. The largest known example was 22 inches long, with legs outstretched, and is kept at the Natural History Museum in London, UK. Very little is known about the insect because in the wild it's exceptionally difficult to see. Males are brown and females are green, and both are long and spindly, so they are perfectly camouflaged in their rainforest home. To further mimic the plants around them, the eggs of the insect resemble seeds and have wing-like extensions, which are thought to help them disperse on the wind. Experts believe Chan's megastick lives in the forest canopy, making it even more challenging to find. Only a handful of specimens have been collected. Number 8. Queen Alexandra's birdwing. In Papua New Guinea, there is a butterfly so large it's almost the size of a small bird. The Queen Alexandra's birdwing lives in a small area of rainforest near the north coast. Males are spectacular, with blue-green streaks of velvet black wings and a bright yellow abdomen. On the other hand, the females are slightly more reserved with cream accents. However, females are a third larger than males, with a record-breaking wingspan of up to 1 foot. Following its initial discovery in 1906, the insect was highly prized by collectors as a result. It was severely overharvested. It flies fast through the rainforest canopy, and while difficult to capture, hunters opted to use rifles to bring it down. Fortunately, a law passed in 1966 to protect the butterfly, but continued illegal collection and habitat destruction for logging and palm oil has dramatically decreased its population. Number 7. Giant isopod. Imagine a woodlouse that can grow longer than a cat, up to 2.5 feet long, and weigh a mind-blowing 4 pounds. Sounds like something right out of a science fiction film, right? But no, this is all real. The giant isopod is a crustacean, distantly related to shrimp and crabs. It lives far beneath the waves, where growing up to relatively giant proportions is not uncommon. It has a rigid exoskeleton and the ability to roll into a ball for defense. It also has 7 pairs of legs, 2 sets of sensitive antennae, and large compound eyes. Oh, and it's pale lilac in color. In cold waters off the US coast, it inhabits the seabed, feasting on the corpses of whales, fish, and giant squid. Food is a rare resource when you live as far down as 7,000 feet below sea level, so when this scavenger finds a meal, there's no holding back. Its targets can include fishermen's trawl nets, and most encounters with the creature occur when it's dragged to the surface as bait catch. In 2010, a huge specimen was found latched onto a remotely operated vehicle being used in sea surveys. Such wild encounters with the animal are rare, but several are held in aquarium collections around the world, and they are particular favorites in Japan. Not sure whether they appear on the dinner table though. Number 6. Blackson's fish owl. There is some debate over which owl gets to lift the title of the world's largest, but the Blackson's fish owl is a heavyweight contender. It reaches up to 10 pounds in weight with a wingspan of around 6.5 feet. It was discovered by naturalist Thomas Blackson in 1883. As the name suggests, this massive owl feeds mainly on fish. Living in the riverside forests in Siberia, northeast China, North Korea, and northern Japan, it was quite common on treetops half a century ago. But this is now a rare sight. Under increasing pressure from logging, overfishing, and persecution by hunters, Blackson's fish owl is now officially considered an endangered species. Number 5. Goliath beetle. Hiding in the undergrowth of African tropical forests, Goliath beetles take the top spot as the heaviest insect in the world. They can weigh up to 3.5 ounces and grow up to 4.5 inches in length. Most adults can be found boasting a brown, black, or even white color. And trust me, if you're afraid of insects, then you wouldn't want to come across this big fella right here. Number 4. Chinese salamander. The Chinese salamander is the largest living amphibian, weighing around 66 pounds. But those are the medium-sized fellas. The large ones can tip the scales up to 132 pounds, and grow up to 6 feet in length. But you know what makes the Chinese salamander a legend? While they've remained unchanged for more than 170 million years, these guys outlived the dinosaurs and did laps on us humans. Absolutely epic. They are known as living fossils, but despite their fascinating nature, they are endangered and rare in the wild. Number 3. Whale shark. Heading underwater, the largest living fish is the 40-foot-long whale shark, weighing a mind-boggling 22 tons. They are an impressive sight, but despite their size, they feed mostly on tiny plankton. Like we mentioned earlier, it's always the biggest guys that are the quietest, or eat the smallest things. Present in tropical seas around the world, whale sharks are considered vulnerable and are hunted in some areas. But before we move on, we've come to the best pick of the day. So right here we have one of the largest snakes in the world, but judging from the proportions, this looks like a photoshopped picture. Then again, history has had its fair share of large snakes. While the largest snakes today are green anacondas, Titanoboa holds the record for the largest snake in fossil history, clocking an impressive 40 feet. Number 2. Brown bear. Who doesn't know about the classic American brown bear? The magnificent beast holds the title as the largest land carnivore together with the polar bear. But hey, let's focus on the American cousin, shall we? Weighing a whopping 1 ton and reaching up to 10 feet tall when standing on their hind legs, they've definitely earned their spot as the most intimidating predator by size. While you find brown bears in forests and mountains in North America, Europe, and Asia, you need to head further north to the Arctic Circle to catch a glimpse of polar bears, who split their time between the sea and ice to feed mostly on seals. Number 1. Leatherback sea turtle. At number 1, we have the king of the sea turtles sitting so ceremoniously on his throne. Growing up to 7 feet long and tipping the scales at 2,000 pounds, the leatherback sea turtle is the largest of all living turtles and is the 4th heaviest reptile behind 3 crocodilians. Once prevalent in every ocean except the Arctic and Antarctic, the leatherback, whose evolutionary roots date back to more than 100 million years, is now a threatened species. And guess what? It's us again who are hunting another magnificent creature to extinction that was here before we were. And with that being said, we've come to the end of this video. So, which one of these magnificent giant creatures blew your mind away? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and click on that notification bell to get more mind-bending videos.